President Donald Trump surprised countries around the world last week by announcing he would double tariffs on metal imports to 50%.
We still continue to believe that it would be a mistake for the American government to proceed with imposing tariffs. It would be a mistake.
The Prime Minister's message today was bolster and protect. Bolster the steel industry by growing the domestic market and protect by reducing the amount of foreign steel allowed into Canada.
U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening to impose 35% tariffs on Canadian imports starting on August 1st. And Prime Minister Mark Carney taking to social media, responding to these latest tariff threats, reading in part, throughout the current trade negotiations with the United States, the Canadian government has steadfastly defended our workers and businesses. We will continue to do so as we work towards the revised deadline of August 1st. Going on to say, Canada has made vital progress to stop the scourge of fentanyl in North America. We are committed to continuing to work with the United States to save lives and protect communities in both our countries. Julia Foy has more on this latest development in the ongoing trade war.
It's another day, another tweet, another twist and turn in the tariff saga.
They called it friendship, but it came with strings. For decades, Canada's trade relationship with the United States was defined not by partnership, but by dependency. And now, that dependency is ending. In the summer of 2025, Canada said what it had long been reluctant to admit out loud. Enough. President Mark Carney is no longer negotiating to maintain the status quo. He is building something entirely different: economic independence. That shift did not begin with a speech. It began with a strategy. Unjustified tariffs from the United States continue to hammer Canadian exports. 50% on steel, 35% proposed across the board. The message is clear. Washington is not offering partnership. It is enforcing control. YouTube is not the biggest fan of content like this, but we believe people deserve to hear the truth. If you agree, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us beat the algorithm and keep going. We really appreciate the support. Carney is not playing Trump's game. He is not tweeting through crisis. He is building out of it. Brick by brick, deal by deal. Canada is no longer begging for access to a single market. It is constructing a new foundation. And Europe is listening. From Paris to Brussels, leaders are calling Canada the most European of non-European countries. Behind closed doors, new trade corridors are forming. What once ran through Washington now moves through Frankfurt, through Tokyo, through Seoul. Carney is not boycotting the United States. He is outgrowing it. This is not a trade war measured in headlines. It is a realignment measured in leverage. Carney has made clear, Canada will continue to negotiate with the United States. But a deal must work for Canadian workers. It must work on Canadian terms. That deal so far is not on the table, and Canada is not desperate. Trump thrives on chaos. He expects nations to fold under pressure, but Carney has refused to flinch, not because he wants confrontation, but because he understands leverage does not come from panic. It comes from preparation. Leadership is not rage. It is resolve, and behind the chaos in Washington lies something more dangerous: collapse.
President Donald Trump has Canadian temperatures rising again after he posted on Truth Social Thursday afternoon.
President Trump is an extremely unpredictable person, inclined to go off on these missives, but we have no option but to work with the U.S.
The topic: more tariffs may be coming.
This is another threat. If you don't do that, we don't get more progress. By August 1st, we're slapping on 35% of everything that's not already covered by the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Free Trade Agreement. And remember, that agreement runs out next year.
Over the past 6 months, the US dollar has declined by nearly 20%. Most Americans do not feel it because they live in a dollar world. But globally, the message is understood. Confidence in American leadership is slipping. Investment is fleeing. Financial dominance is decaying. While Trump tweets, markets tremble. While Trump threatens, capital flees. And Carney, he is not watching, he is moving, quietly, carefully, redirecting Canadian trade away from volatility, building firewalls. Deals with France, with Germany, with South Korea and Japan are already underway. New industrial partnerships, new clean energy corridors, new supply chains. This is not damage control, it is transformation. Dependency is no longer policy. Optionality is, and that makes Canada stronger. The US still matters. Carney has not cut ties, but he has cut expectations. Canada will continue to trade with the United States, but it will no longer depend on it. Business leaders understand why. When tariff threats change with every tweet, companies freeze, budgets are delayed, hiring slows, investment disappears. That is what unpredictability does. It kills momentum. But in Canada, Carney offers something else: consistency. While Washington spins, Ottawa stabilizes. Investors are noticing, capital is following, because markets do not follow noise, they follow stability. Carney is not building a media strategy, he is building a market strategy, and it is working. This shift is not theoretical, it is structural. Canada's steel policy is a perfect example. For decades, Canadian mills supplied US automakers. But today, Carney is connecting those same mills to Canadian defense procurement. Steel once exported is now embedded in national security. That is economic policy with strategic depth. Inflation is another fault line. Trump promised to tame it. Instead, his tariffs have reignited it. Prices are rising, groceries, fuel, housing, all more expensive. And the primary driver? Import costs. Tariffs dressed up as patriotism, but delivered as taxes. Canada has studied the mistake. Carney will not repeat it. When the US closed its market with 50% steel tariffs, 6 million tons of Canadian output lost its buyer. It could have triggered collapse, but Carney stepped in with targeted relief, reskilling, new markets, industrial investment. He is not reacting emotionally, he is rebuilding methodically, and it does not stop with steel. Bill C-5 is a pillar of a larger vision, linking defense, infrastructure, and housing to domestic materials. A closed-loop economy, resilient, future-ready. Trump sees tariffs as weapons. Carney sees policy as design. One is fueled by ego, the other by architecture. And while the US dollar weakens, Carney's currency is credibility. Canadian CEOs, steelworkers, engineers, they know the difference. One president breaks confidence, the other restores it. Emergency relief has been rolled out. But Carney has been honest. Recovery will not be instant. There are no magic slogans, only hard steps, real plans, long-term strength. That is not weakness, that is leadership. Carney understands what the world is starting to realize. Trump is not a strategist. He is a stochastic negotiator, random, contradictory, and guided by impulse, not vision. One day it is national security, the next it is revenue. You cannot negotiate with chaos. So Carney does not try. He waits, he prepares, and when the time is right, he acts. Even in restraint, there is power. Canada has made concessions to stay at the table, delaying the digital services tax, strengthening border coordination, holding off on retaliatory tariffs. It is not surrender, it is timing. Carney is not trading dignity for attention. He is trading patience for leverage. And now, as the deadline looms, August 1st, critics ask, what has Carney won? The answer is simple. He has bought time. Time to rebuild domestic capacity. Time to unlock new markets. Time to shift the balance. The deal may come, or it may not, but Canada will not be caught off guard. Mark Carney is not chasing headlines. He is building outcomes. He is not defending the past. He is designing the future. Let us know what you think in the comments. And do not forget to subscribe to Auto News and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest political economic updates.